It's a big mystery to this day.
Right.
Nobody knows exactly what happened to him.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 aviation mysteries that can't be explained.
Not a trace of wreckage was found floating. There was no mayday call. There was no distress call.
For this list, we'll be looking at the creepiest and most confusing unsolved mysteries regarding aircraft. Do you have answers to these questions? Let us hear them in the comments below. Number 10, the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle.
Over the last 60 years, this mystery has sustained the wildest theories about what strange forces could be at work out here.
Of course, the Bermuda Triangle and aircraft mysteries go hand in hand. Said triangle is stretched between Bermuda, Puerto Rico, and the southern coast of Florida, and it's said to be a hotspot of creepy disappearances.
The Bermuda Triangle is seen as a mysterious place just because it's so big and vast, and lots of interesting things happen there. It is very strange that you have many ships lost there, and airplanes just went missing with no explanation for it.
Many notable incidents have taken place inside the Bermuda Triangle, leading some to believe that the area is haunted or cursed.
Is it possible that visitors from other worlds are utilizing portals in the Bermuda Triangle to travel through time and space?
Others believe that it's a region of strong alien activity, while some hold to more rational explanations, like haywire compass variations or something called methane hydrates. Yet others are confident that there's no mystery and that the area's incident rate is not abnormal or extreme.
Most of these are easy to explain. Bad weather, human error, faulty equipment. The ocean's a big, bad place.
Whatever the case, the phenomenon is both feared and well documented. Number 9, Egypt Air Flight 990.
I lost contact with the Boeing 767 in my airspace. The Egypt Air? Yeah, we lost radar, we lost everything.
A Boeing 767 was traveling from LAX to Cairo when it crashed into the Atlantic just off Massachusetts. The crash was investigated by the Egyptian Civil Aviation Agency and the National Transportation Safety Board. The ECAA called it a mechanical failure, but the NTSB believed that it was an international act performed by the Relief First Officer Gamil al-Batouti.
Disaster will strike Egypt Air Flight 990. The fate of everyone on board will be in the hands of the co-pilot, the man who shouldn't be here in the first place.
This was backed up by Captain Hamdi Hanafi Taha. He claimed that the plane was carrying an executive who recently demoted al-Batouti and that he crashed the plane to exact revenge.
Above all else, what really seems to have condemned the first officer was his use of a common Arabic phrase, tawakkaltu ala Allah, which the NTSB translated as, "I rely on God."
The NTSB requested for the FBI to take over, but the Egyptian authorities refused. As they did not have the investigative prowess of the FBI, the NTSB was unable to come to an official determination.
This is a simple plane crash. It was put and made like this for no reason. It shows that it's a cover-up.
Number 8, Canadian Pacific Airlines Flight 3505. It was July 21st, 1951, and a Douglas DC-4 was transporting 6 crew members and 31 passengers, most of whom belonged to the United States military. Canadian Pacific Airlines Flight 3505 was flying from Vancouver to Tokyo with a stopover in Alaska. Unfortunately, the plane never reached the northern state. It was scheduled to arrive around midnight, and an emergency report was issued after about 45 minutes of silence. A massive search for the plane was undertaken and continued for months, but tragically no trace of the plane was ever found, and the search was officially called off after 3 months. Some people think the icy conditions over Alaska are to blame, but no one actually knows what happened. Number 7, D.B. Cooper.
Who was Dan Cooper? Gentleman thief or violent criminal?
One of the most infamous names in aviation, D.B. Cooper entered the history books when he hijacked a plane on November 24, 1971. Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305 was flying from Portland to Seattle when it was quietly commandeered by Cooper. He privately threatened a flight attendant with a bomb and demanded $200,000 in cash. The plane landed without incident and Cooper received his money. He then instructed the now empty plane to fly to Mexico City, but he parachuted out shortly after takeoff.
But the problem is that he wanted the jet to fly with the landing gear down. He wanted the jet to fly with the flaps down. He wanted the jet to fly at a very slow speed and not fly over 10,000 feet in altitude. So there was simply no way that they could fly nonstop to Mexico City.
A small portion of the money was recovered in 1980, but neither Cooper nor most of the cash have ever been found.
The bills totaling $5,880 were waterlogged and deteriorated.
There were 294 bills found, and all of those serial numbers are on the ransom list, so that money is definitely, positively identified as having come from that particular ransom money.
The leading theory is that he died in the jump, but that has never been proven.
The Cooper mystery and legend have not died with time. The tale still rolls through these hills, and the rumors persist.
Number 6, the 1956 B-47 disappearance. On March 10, 1956, Boeing B-47 Stratojet belonging to the United States Air Force took off from Florida carrying nuclear material. On board were 3 people: aircraft commander Robert Hodgen, observer Gordon Inslee, and pilot Ronald Kurtz. The B-47 was headed across the Atlantic Ocean to the Ben Guerir Air Base in Morocco. It was scheduled to refuel near Algeria, but communication with the tanker was lost and the B-47 vanished from existence. While French news reported that the plane exploded, no one was able to find any piece of the aircraft. The fate of the plane, or the reason behind its potential explosion, is unknown. Number 5, Flying Tiger Line Flight 739. The Lockheed Constellation suffered its worst accident on March 16, 1962. The military prop liner was carrying 96 passengers, all but 3 of which were soldiers of the United States Army. The plane was flying from California to Vietnam when it disappeared in the western Pacific Ocean between the Philippines and Guam. It was declared missing by the Clark Field Rescue Coordinating Center, prompting what was at the time the largest search of the Pacific Ocean.
No trace of wreckage ever recovered in this, and due to the complexities surrounding the mission, the names of all of those on board have not yet been added to the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C.
The United States military scoured 200,000 miles of ocean, but to no success. There was a report that the plane exploded in mid-flight, but this was never corroborated and no debris was ever found. And even if it did explode, we don't know why.
There was no military funeral. There was no folded flag given to the family.
Number 4, the Stardust accident. A small plane, this Avro Lancastrian belonging to British South American Airways, was carrying 11 occupants in the afternoon of August 2, 1947. Flying from Buenos Aires to Santiago, Stardust crashed into Mount Tupungato in Argentina, killing all 11 on board. No trace of the plane was found for over 50 years. That changed in 1998 when 2 Argentine mountain climbers stumbled across some wreckage in a glacier. But one aspect of the case remains a mystery. Shortly before crashing, the aircraft sent a cryptic message through Morse code reading Stendek. Various sound theories have been put forward regarding the meaning of Stendek, but experts have been unable to come to a consensus. Number 3, Flight 19.
We are now flying 270 degrees. We will fly 270 degrees until we hit the beach or run out of gas.
This is perhaps the most famous disappearance within the Bermuda Triangle. What makes it so fascinating is that it involved multiple aircraft. Flight 19 was a group of 5 torpedo bombers that were flying over Fort Lauderdale on December 5, 1945.
Radio contact was faint and patchy, but one pilot could be heard declaring that the men had gotten lost after their last turn.
Received at 6:20 that evening, the eerie final message insinuates that they were ditching at sea.
When the first plane drops below 10 gallons, we all go down together. Does everyone understand that?
When the plane failed to return, a flying boat was sent to find them. This plane also disappeared, and 27 people were lost in total. The Navy published a report claiming that Flight 19 had been lost owing to a compass malfunction and that the flying boat exploded in midair. However, to avoid placing blame on the flight leader, they wrote that the cause was unknown.
Over the last 60 years, this mystery has sustained the wildest theories about what strange forces could be at work out here.
Number 2, Amelia Earhart. This story is so famous that it has become legend. Amelia Earhart was an enormously popular figure in her time, being a highly accomplished pilot and best-selling author. In 1937, she attempted to circumnavigate the globe with her navigator, Fred Noonan. The two were flying in a Lockheed Model 10E Electra when it disappeared near Howland Island in the Pacific Ocean.
This grainy film records the last time Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan are ever seen alive.
Most people believe that Earhart ran out of fuel and crashed. However, no debris has ever been found. Other, more conspiratorial theories exist, like crash landing on Gardner Island and getting captured by the Japanese.
For 70 years, investigators have been trying to solve the Earhart enigma.
And of course, there are the far-out theories like Earhart being a secret spy or anonymously moving to New Jersey under a new identity.
To me, the magnificent thing about Amelia is that in the eyes of the world, she never died. Her fear never witnessed, her failure never recorded.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. The story of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 is the biggest aviation mystery of our time, and until it is solved, it may be the biggest in history.
This is very rare. For an airplane to disappear is not normal. I think we have, at this hour, every reason to expect that this is not going to be a good outcome.
The incident occurred on March 8, 2014, when the airplane flying from Malaysia to Beijing disappeared over the Indian Ocean.
Approaching the point at which Malaysian Air Traffic Control will hand over to Vietnam. Then, Captain Zahari makes a last routine, but now infamous radio transmission.
Good night. Good night, Malaysia. 372.
Thanks to modern technology, it's becoming increasingly rare for airplanes to just disappear. But this one did. The search was massive, expensive, and lengthy. But despite the effort, the plane has never been found.
Families waiting for MH370. They still wait, and really, they don't know much more than they did that first awful morning.
Debris has washed up on shore, seemingly confirming that the plane was destroyed and that all 239 occupants are deceased. Countless theories have been put forth in an attempt to explain the bizarre loss, but no consensus has ever been reached.
What happened to the flight has haunted the world ever since.
We're not used to planes just disappearing. If they come down, we expect to be able to find out why